Welcome to Outright TV, a video and podcast series bringing you stories from queer people and allies across the globe. I'm Nazeeha Saeed, the Media Coordinator, and for today's episode, I'm talking to Hanane Mettouchi, a feminist from Algeria. Welcome, Hanane.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to do this interview with you.
We are happy to have you with us today.
I'm happy to.
How is the women's situation in Algeria in general?
The women's situation in Algeria in general is a little bit complicated because women in Algeria have to carry a lot of pressure. The pressure with their families, with the society in regard to the tradition, the religion, and also regard the law in Algeria, because it's a little bit complicated. So in general, it's very hard to be a woman in Algeria. Of course, there is a lot of, we are trying to go on, we are trying to improve the women's situation in Algeria, but still, it's still a little bit complicated to be a woman in Algeria. So that's what I think about the situation in Algeria.
Mm-hmm. What did the feminist movement demand at the moment?
Actually, they are doing great. They are doing a lot of job on the ground. They are doing a lot of pressure under the government because of the family law. So they are doing a lot of pressure under the government in order to improve the women's situation in Algeria. They are demanding the authorities to do a lot of to do much more effort in regard to the women's situation, and also in order to punish severely the violence against women. The feminists in Algeria try to propose advocacy in order to change the family law. They also do a lot of campaign, awareness campaign on the ground in order to sensitize the society, in order to aware about the violence against women. In order to, they also do a lot they do a lot of communication campaign on social media on the ground in order to talk to women, because it's very important to still in touch with women at first. So they try to stay in touch with women to explain that they are not inferior to men, that their men should be their partners and not their boss. They do a lot of campaign on social media in order to bring together a lot of feminists, a lot of women, in order to encourage them to fight for their right. So they do a lot of job on the ground, also doing campaigns, and also they try to develop some social structures in order to help women. They also set up some phone lines in order to so the women who faced some violence or problems or troubles can call and talk. So they do a lot of great job, I think.
Great. How's the society reacting to the movement?
Actually, it depends. There is some positive reactions and some negative reactions. I will start maybe with the negative reactions. There is a lot of stereotypes regarding the feminist movement. Some people pursue the feminist movement, the feminists in general, as their enemies. So sometimes they attack them. Sometimes they attack the feminists. Sometimes because they don't know actually what is the feminist movement, what are the feminist movement are. So there is a lot of negative reactions. But in the meantime, there is also a lot of positive reactions, a lot of encouragement because of the social media, because of the internet, because of there is a lot of information about feminist movement. So there is a lot of positive reaction, a lot of encouragement, a lot of people, a lot of men and women are joining the feminist movement in Algeria, because they know that it's very important. They don't have choice than being feminist in Algeria, especially young women, because they know that they have to fight for their right, and they have to communicate. They have to so that's why they are joining the feminist movement, because they know that they have no choice than being a feminist in Algeria.
Mm. What's the latest development on the ground now? Like, is there any improvement? Is there any government bodies that reacted to the movement, or there is a crackdown, for example? What's the situation?
Actually, on the ground, I will talk. If we talk about the government, then sometimes yes, they say that yes, there is some good point, but you know, it's like black on white paper. It's just anchor on paper, so there is not really real development on the ground. It just promises. But yes, there is some structures, some associations, some NGOs who are really doing pressure on government. So yes, there is positive reactions, but it's not enough. It's not enough because there is no, you know, I mean, I really believe that there is no enough effort with regards the woman's situation, because there is not a lot of social structure in order to accommodate women. Of course, there is a lot of NGOs and association who do that, but not the government himself. You know, they don't provide assistance. There is no funds sales lines to listen to the woman, the authorities. Of course, there is a lot of laws who punish violence, but I believe that it's not enough, because but if we talk about the popular mobilization right now, I think there is a lot of good point, positive point, because a lot of activists, a lot of people talk about equality, about women's question in Algeria, about women's rights. So there is a lot of positive reactions with regard to feminist and women's rights in general.
Do you think the political movement, or between brackets, the revolution that started in Algeria last year, yes, demanding a lot of freedoms and change in the political system, is also like encouraged more women to ask for their right, and also maybe even a lot of women now joined your movement because you became more visible?
At the beginning, it was very difficult. I will be honest with you. At the beginning, some feminist movement were severely attacked by some people, because they have seen the feminist movement like how I see that, because you know, when you don't know something that then you are afraid. So they were severely attacked by a lot of people, but and then we tried to fight. We tried to stay strong and to say no. We have our places. We are women. We are not inferior to men. We are going to do this revolution together, because there will be no change, no positive change, no effective change, no freedom, not equality if we don't do that together. So and currently we are doing pressure on activists also. I'm talking about myself. When I talk with activists, when I talk with people, I say, okay, how about women's situation? Are we talking enough about the women's situation? Are we talk about freedom? Are we talking about the equality? Are we talking about what the women are facing too in Algeria currently? Because if we don't talk about that, then it makes no sense for me as a feminist. Of course, I am also a human rights defender, but I am especially a feminist because, like I said before, we have no choice than being a feminist in Algeria. So there is a lot of positive point with activists, with political party, some political party, not all of them. Some political party include in their vindication the equality, and the equality, and also they really take the woman's situation in consideration in their revendication. Last day we did a protestation in Paris, and we talked a lot about the equality and about women's situation in Algeria.
Great. Well, you talked maybe a little bit about the advocacy, but you can tell me more. How do you, as a feminist movement, gather solidarity and do your advocacy?
So solidarity. I think we use a lot of we use social media because it's easier. It's especially Facebook, Twitter, especially Facebook because it's better. Maybe it's easier for a lot of people to communicate on social media. So how we gather solidarity, yes, in social media we do a lot of campaign. There is also a radio channel who was created by a feminist group in order to talk about women's situation, about women in general in Algeria. It's a very great initiative. A group of feminists that create a radio channel, and also on social media there is a lot of groups, feminist groups, who talk about feminism, about women's situation in Algeria, about violence against women, who try to encourage women to be independent, to study, to work, to travel. They try to sensitize society. They try to invite men also to join our movement, because feminist movement is not should not mobilize only women. There is also a lot of men who are joining right now the feminist group in Algeria, because they know that the woman's situation is a little bit complicated in Algeria. So that's how we try to get much more solidarity. And about advocacy, there is a lot of NGOs. A lot of NGOs, a lot of feminist group, a lot of lawyers, a lot of people who are really able to write advocacy and to propose advocacy, and they send their advocacy, their proposition to the government, to the authority, and they also write a lot of report, a lot of document on the women's situations, and they publish a lot of articles, a lot of document, so they can really carry a lot of solidarity, and in order to inform people about the situation, about the women's situation. So yes, that's how we do, I think. We did also a campaign. Remember when I was in Algeria, when I was with Amnesty International, we did a campaign to talk about violence against women, and we did a lot of activities, a lot of stand of signatures in order to get a lot of signatures, a lot of support. We also did a lot of campaign in order to talk to the people on the street. We tried to organize some street theater on the street in order to really inform, and in order to transmit a huge message, a strong message to the people, so they can really be aware about the situation, the women's situation in Algeria.
That's a great job that you are doing, and bon courage. How can the international feminist movements around the world help you? How do you think they can help you if they want?
The international feminist movement can definitely help us if they, of course, they can provide us some assistance, some help, some training, document, some proposition, some proposition of advocacy, and also they can help us if they can do some campaign, international campaign, in order to make pressure on the government, as Amnesty International do, as SOS Femmes en Détresse do. For example, they talk about the situation in the country. They really make pressure. They do pressure on government, because sometimes when it's international, it can have a better impact, you know. And they help us with when they mediatize our cause, then it will definitely help us. They can provide us support, psychological support. They can also provide us support when you know that it's an international movement and you have support. You are not alone, because okay, we are speaking about Algeria, but Algeria is not the only country where the women are facing a lot of difficulties. Being a woman is difficult everywhere in the world, so we have to be, we have to stay in touch together in order to have a better impact.
Yeah. Hanane, are you optimistic for a change?
I have to. I have to be optimistic. Being positive is very important, and I think that with the social media, with the technology, with the digital world, with the how we can communicate together, how we can bring together a lot of people on social media, how we can really talk. Right now, we have the possibility to talk. We have the possibility to transmit our message. So yes, I am very optimistic. Even if sometimes it's difficult, I must admit that, but you know, I am very optimistic. I have to.
Good luck, Hanane,
Thank you so much.
For you and for the movement and for women of Algeria and women in the world to have their rights and to have equality one day. We have all to fight for that,
yes.
But happy to see it's happening everywhere, or like at least in the MENA region that has been,
yes,
the women have been repressed for long, and the movement took a lot of time to be more on the surface.
yes.
And thank you for taking the time to speak with me today for Outright TV.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great to hear from a country like Algeria that maybe it's more exposed to the Francophone media, but not to the English media.
Yes.
And good to hear what's going on there for women. This was Nazeeha Saeed, and I spoke to Hanane Mettouchi from Algeria. My colleagues and I will be back soon with more stories. Thank you.
Thank you.